Are you an established small business owner or aspiring entrepreneur? Would you like professional advice to help your business grow and succeed? Well, look no further. The Virgin Islands Small Business Development Center is the territory's #1 resource to move your business forward. Enjoy no-cost advising, low-cost training, and technical assistance from experts in both the public and private sectors. The VISBDC is nationally accredited and sustained by the University of the Virgin Islands and the U.S. Small Business Administration. Visit us at our locations on St. Thomas, St. John, or St. Croix, and follow us on social media at VISBDC. For easy access to all our training and networking events, be sure to join our newsletter and download the VISBDC app. The Virgin Islands Small Business Development Center, here to help your business start, grow, and succeed.
Greetings on behalf of the VISPDC network. Thank you for joining today's session on a topic that is absolutely vital for any business looking to scale in the construction, supply, or service industries. We know that winning a government or private contract isn't just about having the best price. It's about proving you have the reliability to finish the job. That's where surety bonds come in. To help us navigate this, allow me to introduce today's presenter. He is a dedicated advocate for small businesses across Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. As the SBA Senior Area Manager for the USVI, he has helped countless entrepreneurs access the capital and the confidence they need to compete. Please join me in welcoming Wayne Huddleston. Here's a friendly reminder to place your questions in the chat, and they will be addressed by the presenting team either directly in the chat or later during our question and answer segment. A copy of today's presentation will be attached to the post-survey email sent after this live session. We encourage you to take a few minutes out of your time to briefly fill out the survey that lets us know how we're doing. This data is essential to us rendering these deliverables complimentary to you. So without further ado, Wayne, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you very much, Sharika. Welcome, everybody. Good morning. As Sharika mentioned, my name is Wayne Huddleston. I'm the Senior Area Manager for SBA here in the Virgin Islands. The SBDC is a fantastic partner of ours, hosting a lot of informational webinars on a number of our programs. Today, I'm going to be talking about surety bonding. The presentation is going to be relatively short. I'm going to go through the basic how the surety bond program works with SBA. I'm also going to leave some time at the end of the presentation to answer any questions you have. I'm going to go off video, and then I'm going to start a presentation, but feel free at any time during the presentation, type your questions in chat. But like I said, at the end, we'll have plenty of time to work through any questions you may have. So we start the share, I'll go off video. Hold on, I'm going to stop share. Start it again real quick. Okay. Okay. So like I said, we're going to go through this. This will be like about 20, 30 minutes, and then we should have time at the end to answer many of your questions. Yeah. All right. First thing I'm going to do, however, is show a short video that encapsulates a lot of the presentation and what we're going to be talking about today.
Small businesses are a critical part of the U.S. economy, and through the SBA's Surety Bond Guarantee Program, we help small businesses at various stages. Emerging businesses that need contract surety bonds but may be new to bonding, as well as established businesses looking to increase their current bonding limits and capacity. For over 50 years, SBA's Surety Bond Guarantee Program has been a trusted program creating access, opportunity, and stability for thousands of small businesses needing surety bonds, as in more than $7 billion a year in contract bonds. If you own a small business in construction or service industry and require a contract surety bond, with SBA guaranteed bonds, your working capital requirements are lower and your bond capacity is increased. The result? You compete for larger contracts or build your business as a prime contractor. Who benefits when small businesses get access to surety bonds? We all do. With access to bonds and increased bonding limits, small businesses grow, and that growth has ripple effects, such as hiring employees from local communities and contributing to the national economy. Convenience, not hassle. The program has low barriers to entry. It's easy to use. The entire process is electronic, and you receive fast decisions within hours for smaller contracts and less than 2 days for large dollar contracts. Sound like a program for you? Reach out to your local SBA district office to learn more, or take the first step to apply for the program by connecting with a surety agent authorized to issue SBA guaranteed bonds. Find a surety partner at sba.gov/OSG. Because at SBA, we make small business our business.
All right, that's just a short little video that generally summarizes what we're going to be talking about today. So SBA has been around for over 50 years. Surety Bond program is one of many programs we have to help. So I'm going to focus on Surety Bond program today, but if you have questions about really anything or any of our programs at SBA, be happy to answer those as well. So for those that may not be familiar with surety bonds, they are oftentimes essential for many construction and construction-related businesses who are trying to qualify for contracts with either the territorial government, the federal government, and sometimes even in the private sector. There will be a requirement for bonding. Oftentimes, however, a business may be too new, or it could have some credit issues, or one of the frequent reasons is there's just not the sufficient amount of assets necessary to qualify for the bonding required under the contract. And that's where the Surety Bond program comes in to help with that. So we work with a group of surety agents and companies nationwide to use our guarantee to provide bonding to businesses in the area. They can be performance bonds, payment bonds, ancillary bonds, all sorts of things. We do this by guaranteeing anywhere from 80 to 90% of the bond's value against loss to a surety company in case there is a default. And that is very similar to how our lending programs work. When people are receiving an SBA loan, as long as it's not a disaster loan, but they're receiving a conventional business loan, that comes with a guarantee behind the scenes for the lender who is providing that loan. And the same concept is what applies here to surety bonds. So the whole purpose is to make sure companies that are trying to seek bonds and may otherwise not qualify for their bonds are able to do so through our agents. They can be used to benefit you in lots of ways, to help you grow your business. If you needed this contract to help grow, helps you compete for a larger contract than you may not have been able to do. It has a lot of flexible requirements for it. All right, so there is an evaluation stage on assessing whether someone does qualify for a bond. Even that qualification has to happen whether you have our guarantee or not. Similar to, again, the lending process, we can provide our guarantee to lenders, but you're still going to have to meet some basic underwriting standards for the bank. And generally, for a bond, they need to show, or an applicant will need to show capacity, which is simply the ability to complete the work. It's based on your field and your key personnel experience, your day-to-day business and management practices. You just need to demonstrate that this is a project you know something about, you have the expertise to perform on this project effectively. So that's an important piece. Another piece is capital. This is based on your company's profitability and the quality of your financial statements. You need to show that you are an operating company that is stable, has income, that you have some assets behind it, and that you have the ability to perform, that you're not just doing this for the first time and don't really have the money to do it. And in character is the business owner's personal credit history and the business's reputation. Any bonder and any contracting officer wants to do business with a entity that has a good reputation, doesn't have a reputation of missing out or not performing on contracts, all those things, and that the owners have a history of paying their bills as needed. So this is sort of an illustrative example of how our program works and how it helps. If the business is having trouble getting the bonding, this is where the SBA guarantee comes in. So an example above, with a traditional surety market, bonding can be obtained for about 10 times the amount of the working capital that the business has. With SBA's guarantee, it often pushes that up to $2 million in working capital. And so instead of 10 times your working capital, we're eligible for a 20 times multiplication of that to get your bonding. So it can essentially double the amount of bonding that you can receive for a project. So other benefits for it: lower working capital requirements allow a small business to qualify up to twice as much bonding capacity. So you can use that extra cash you may have to work on some other things, but allows you to just do a lot more with that. Available balance of credit lines count towards working capital. So if you don't have the cash in your account, you can have a line of credit, and that will count for the assessment of capital when determining how much of a bond they have. And bonding guarantees may be available on larger projects with internal financial statements, which is not always the case without a guarantee. So this is just a few, or one example here. Vera Hall, small business owner. She comments about how she was able to get a bond that really helped her compete for contracts that she otherwise would not have been able to do. So this is how our program works. So there's a program called our prior approval program, delivers underwriting decisions in about 3 days and includes what we call a quick app, which is a streamlined option that gives you a decision within about a day on bonds of $500,000 or less. The surety company you have may have their own qualifications for the quick app, including some credit minimums. And if you apply for the bond guarantee for the quick app, your business cannot have any previous defaults or bond claims. So there are a variety of bonds and amounts that can be done. There are the bid bonds, performance bonds, payments bonds. Each government and private sector contract can be up for $9 million, or the bond can be up to $9 million. And for each direct federal contract, the limit is $14 million. To qualify, you do have to be a small business. That typically is based on annual revenues or number of employees. That's really typically not an issue here in the Virgin Islands. Essentially, any entity that is located here in the Virgin Islands is going to be small. There are a few that are not, but many businesses here are considered small. But if you're unsure, there are a couple of construction-related businesses that are owned by entities outside of the territory that are competing for contracts here. If you're affiliated with one of those or one of those businesses, you do want to check to be sure that you meet our size standards. Those can be found online. If you just typed in SBA size standards, it'll show up and we'll show you exactly the requirements on annual revenue and number of employees to be small. But you have to be small to qualify for a surety bond program. Other requirements: you got to be current on any public debts, taxes, repayment agreements, and pass basic underwriting standards, as I mentioned earlier. Being current on public debts is important, especially down here. A lot of people have received disaster loans in the past. If you default or you have your loan referred to Treasury because there's non-payment, that will prevent you from participating not only in any other loan program from SBA, but also this program as well. If you're not current on any debts that you have to the federal government, that could be an issue. All right, so I've talked about all these before. You've got to have good character. You need to have a bond that you're unable to obtain elsewhere on reasonable terms. If you can secure a bond easily without the SBA guarantee, you should go ahead and do that. Our program is to assist businesses who can't or may struggle in some way to reach the full bonding amount. You got to be a U.S.-based business. You got to be for profit with illegal U.S. resident owners. And you must be eligible to do business with the federal government and not be involved in any bankruptcy proceeding. Our bid bond guarantee fees are never charged by the SBA. There is a contractor fee. It's 0.6% of the contract amount paid to SBA for the guarantee. It's typically passed on to you. And then there's a surety premium as a charge paid to the surety company for the bond. So those are the typical fees that are associated with it. There are a ton of partners that partner with us across the country to participate in that program. But I'm going to give you as soon as this is over, before we open up the questions, I'm going to show you exactly how you can find surety bond agents that have indicated to us that they serve this market specifically in the Virgin Islands. You can go to sba.gov, OSG. Let's see if I can click on that. I can't. So I'm going to escape out of this and then I'll go because that's essentially the end of my presentation. Oh, here I can click on it. Okay. These are other issues for this video. We have a video. It's essentially the same one I showed at the beginning. There are also some other entities that can help. So the SBDC, which is hosting today, if you're having trouble not just securing a bond, but really anything with your business, you should call and set an appointment to speak with your SBDC advisor. If you are in federal contracting, absolutely, you should have some sort of relationship with the Apex Accelerator. There's one here locally in the USVI. While the SBDC helps with everything related to businesses, Apex Accelerators focus specifically and only on contracting. They can assist you with competing effectively for federal contracts, but also even territorial contracts. So if you're in the contracting business, you should have a relationship with Apex Accelerator and SBDC. I'm going to visit, I believe that's it for my presentation. Yes, so I'm going to visit this site before we end and show you exactly what that looks like. Okay, so if you don't remember that it's sba.gov/OSG, you can just type into Google SBA surety bonds, and there's one of the first ones that'll come up. You just want to make sure that it's a .gov address. Will take you to this page. It'll provide a little bit more information about the surety bond program, a lot of information that we covered here today, how the program works. But the important part of this page is right here, find agencies in your state. Very simple tool. All you have to do is filter down by the Virgin Islands. Last one on the list here. Click filter, and you'll get a list of surety bond agents that provide bonds here in our area. We have their contact phone number here, their email. One request I have is if any of you ever contact any of the surety bond agents on our list and they convey to you that they are not providing bonds to this market at this time, please let me know. Every once in a while, we have a surety bond agent who will essentially just click everywhere in the United States, click all the buttons and say, yes, we'll do it anywhere. And then they realize later, oh, we don't actually serve the Virgin Islands. So I will reach out to them and make sure they remove themselves from that list. But most of these, as far as I know, I check this fairly at least once a year. Haven't checked it lately, but I'm confident most of these are providing bonds here in the territory. Okay, I'm going to stop my sharing for right now. I'm going to open it up to any questions you may have about surety bonds.
All righty, Wayne, thank you for that. So if you're in the audience and you want to ask your question directly, you can go ahead and unmute your mic, and Wayne will be happy to answer.
And I can see also we don't have a really big audience here, but I do want to point out that we have Mr. Lee Stevens with us today. Mr. Stevens is with, I'm sorry, Apex Bonding, and he has a great wealth of knowledge on bonding, more so than me. He has been a partner for many businesses down here to supply them surety bonds, and he can help answer some questions you may have as well.
Yeah, thank you, Wayne. That is correct. I've been working in the Virgin Islands for about, it's probably close to 15 years now. And we've put together a program long ago. It was a bit of a struggle, but we were able to do that. And one of the ways that we made that happen was through SBA guarantees. As you know, one of the kind of foremost qualifications for an SBA guarantee is having been denied surety credit. The thing with the Virgin Islands in particular is almost every time you take a case to a surety company, they would deny it because they say they don't do business in the Virgin Islands. What they mean by that is most of them are licensed to the large corporate commercial insurance companies. They just didn't ever have an appetite. So we were able to work with our surety company to accept, underwriting contractors with SBA guarantees. So we do utilize the program a lot in the Virgin Islands, and we're very active throughout the country too with SBA guarantees. But I'm always available to answer questions for anybody that might need.
Thanks, Lee. And Lee, if you don't mind, if you want to just put your contact information in chat, that way anybody can have that with that too.
Certainly.
Thank you.
All righty. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Stevens. We do have one person in the audience. Would you like to ask something directly? I noticed that you unmute your mic at one point.
Yes, I wanted to ask what type of businesses specifically can get the bond?
Well, really any business, but these are really required more often in the construction industry. As long as you're a for-profit business and you're small and you meet the basic requirements that we have, you can receive a guarantee for your bond if it's required. But it depends on what you're trying to do. But it really just comes down to if your contract that you're bidding on says you require a bond to perform on this work, then you can seek that bond through us.
Construction businesses?
Yeah, so typically where bonding comes into play, let's say, for example, there's a strip of road or need to rebuild a building that has deteriorated either through a storm or maybe the territory is building something new. They will put those bids out to, or request for proposals out for contracting companies, construction companies typically, to complete that work. And that may cost $2 million or whatever it may be. They will have to secure a bond to assure the territorial government that that they can complete that work. And so that's just part of that process. So it's typically for construction companies or related companies.
Okay, so it's for construction companies, but you could use it for something else?
Well, you only use it to meet the bonding requirements of a contractor. That's all you can really use it for. A bond in itself, unless Lee has other examples, but I don't think a bond in itself is not really leverageable outside of fulfilling the contract requirement.
Okay.
All righty. So I guess that basically ends our question and answer segment, unless you wanted to say anything else, Mr. Stevens?
No, I'm available. I dropped my contact information. Again, we've been SBA partners for quite a long time, and if anybody ever needs assistance in the Virgin Islands, I'm happy to help, give some guidance, and offer our surety bond services.
Alrighty, thank you for that. And for the sake of the recording, I'll just go ahead and highlight that he put in the chat Lee Stevens, Apex Bonding. His mobile number is 410-598-9850, and his email address is Lee at apexbonding.com. That's apexbonding.com. Alrighty. So I guess I'll just go ahead and I'll just share some resources we have here at the VISBDC. I want to take you to our redesigned website and show you how to find trainings. So when you go to our website, you can go here, select training, go to the drop down for events. And this is how you would register for events that we have coming up. This takes you to our e-center. And I want to highlight that after this live event, this webinar will be available to you in a pre-recorded format. So how do you get to the pre-recorded formats? On this page, I want you to select on demand as the type of event. Make sure your center is on all so that you see everything. Hit search. And this is how you would find pre-recorded webinars that you can watch at your leisure. We understand that small business owners are busy, whether they have a 9 to 5 or they are managing a storefront. And so I want to show you how to capture, how to register for what's to come. So select live, make sure it's all, and search. All right. So we want you to know that we have for farmers and fishers, there's the Top Grant Academy happening on March 6th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And we have Wayne coming back to deliver a series of webinars as he continues to give us information on what SBA has to offer. On March 10th, he will present on learning about SBA resources to help your business grow, and succeed. He will come back and he will focus on securing an SBA loan for your business. And then we have the last webinar within our primer series as we prepare for our government contracting summit. And it is entitled Government Contracting in Disasters, Doing Business with FEMA and VITEMA. That's going to be on March 26th. And then we have on March 27th, a Lieutenant Governor's Office, Division of Corporations and Trademarks, and they'll be focusing on registering and maintaining your business name in the USVI electronically. That's going to be on March 27th, starting at 11 a.m. And so we did post more events to come, and we want you to go ahead and register for those in advance. All right. So let me go back to today's event, see if we have any additional questions, and I think we are good to go. So once again, thank you for your time. Wayne, it's always a pleasure collaborating with you on events like this. And we appreciate having you in person today, Mr. Stevens. Thank you so much for all that you do. And so, to everyone in the audience, thank you for your time and attendance. And on behalf of the entire VISBDC network, compliments of our State Director, Karen Jones, we wish you a productive rest of day. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.